Today, on behalf of the faculty at ASB, I wish you the very best as you begin your journey. It gives me great pleasure now to invite Mr. Craig Johnson, Superintendent of the American School of Bombay, forward.
I wash my hands about 10 times a day. Why? Because I'm the superintendent of the American School of Bombay, and I shake hands with a lot of people, and I give a lot of high fives. So I need to wash my hands. My office is on the 4th floor of the elementary school. I wash my hands on the 2nd floor of the elementary school. I do that for 2 reasons. First of all, by going from the 4th floor to the 2nd floor, I get to zigzag across 3 floors, which means I get to meet people, shake more hands, and get in, by the end of the day, about 1 kilometer of walking. But secondly, I wash my hands on the 2nd floor because of Sanjay. Sanjay is the janitor responsible for the boys' restroom on the 2nd floor of the elementary school. Sanjay, without a doubt, has the cleanest, most welcoming, and most friendly of the 29 restrooms that we have at ASB. When I first met Sanjay 3 years ago, he didn't speak a word of English. Today, he masters about 30 really important phrases and has a vocabulary of several hundred words. Sanjay is highly motivated to learn English. He is motivated because when I asked him, he said, I want my daughter to go to an English medium school, and I want to be prepared to help her with her English-based homework. Sanjay, I asked, how old is your daughter? She's not born yet. As of today, he still has no daughter, but he has big plans for his daughter. When asked what his plans are, he said, and remember, this is the janitor whose job it is to keep the boys' restroom of the 2nd floor of the elementary school clean. He said, my dream for my unborn daughter is that she becomes an English-speaking cook for a member of the ASB faculty. That is the dream he has for his daughter. That dream is so far above what the expectations would have been for someone other than Sanjay. Recently, Seth Godin, a well-known author and critical thinker, wrote a blog where he asked us to think about the following question. He said, what is your job? Are you a janitor? Is that your job? He wasn't talking about the job title, and he wasn't talking about the job description. He wanted us to think about other types of questions like, what value do you bring to your organization? How indispensable are you to your organization? And if you were to leave your organization tomorrow, would they miss you and would they be weaker because they lost you? Sanjay, as a janitor, has a 1-line job description. And I had it translated into English, and this is literally what it says. His job is to clean the toilets, the sinks, and the other surface spaces in and around the boys' restroom on the 2nd floor of the elementary school of ASB. His job expects nothing more than a clean toilet. Nowhere have we asked him to be friendly. Nowhere have we asked him to create a welcoming environment, and yet Sanjay has taken the very monotonous, robotic task of hand washing to a pleasant place. I enjoy, as does everyone who goes to that restroom to wash our hands, enjoy the experience. Everyone in this room today has a job title. For instance, we have grandmothers here, we have grandfathers, we have brothers, we have sisters, we have uncles, we have aunts, we have teachers, we have students, we have superintendents, and we have parents. I want to use parent job title and job description to get a little deeper into my point. I looked at the handbook, the global handbook on parenting. It does exist. You can ask your parents. There is a handbook that exists for all people of the world to know what to do when they become a parent. And here's the job description of a parent. We exist in order to sustain the lives of members of our family, to provide the financial resources for the acquisition of food, water, and education, and other material things such as a roof, towels, and clothes. That's the end of the job description. We exist to keep you alive until you are able to live on your own. Some parents in the audience are going, yep, that's about it. But the rest of us are going, actually, there's more. Actually, there's not more. That's all we are required to do. But every one of your parents has done so much more. Why? Because like Sanjay, they love their job, and they love and adore the product of their job, which is you. And therefore, they have redefined the definition of what it is to be a parent. Some of them do many things on this end of the spectrum, and others do things on this end of the spectrum. Some of us are a lot better than others at doing certain things, and those of us that are experts at certain things are a disaster at other things. For instance, my wife is brilliant with the girlfriends of my sons. I scare them away. So I leave that job to her. What I would like to do just for a moment is to have our graduates stand and applaud the people in the audience that have given their lives and redefined the definition of what it is to be a parent to put you here today. Ladies and gentlemen, our parents. Thank you all for giving your children to ASB, and we'll keep our eye on you. Have a seat. Let's see if we can do it all together. There we go. This brings me to my first set of questions that I want to offer the graduates tonight. What is your job title in the world today? And given that job title, stay with me, given that job title, what do you think is expected of you? And given that job title, how much do you think you actually care about that job? I'm going to come back to this in a moment. A few weeks ago, I received an email from an ASB parent. She's in the audience today watching her son graduate. I want to share a few excerpts from the email. I quote, Craig, my family was recently wondering, and I've changed the names to protect the guilty. Our family was recently wondering how Rajiv would have fared if he would have stayed at his old school in New York instead of coming to ASB for high school. My husband said, quote, Rajiv would still have been admitted to College X if he would have stayed in New York. And my older son, who has never attended ASB, said, yes, he would. But Rajiv would not be the man he is today without the American School of Bombay. And that is exactly what Godin's blog is trying to get us to think about. And that's exactly my point for you to be thinking about. Your job title today could be high school graduate. And you would then be one of millions of kids around the world that just took that job title. Next year, your job title could be college student. And you would be one of millions of kids around the world that are college students. And many years from now, you could be a banker and a lawyer and a diplomat and a superintendent and a teacher and a nurse, just like hundreds of thousands of other people that have that same job title. In other words, if you define yourself only by your job title and do only what is expected of you, you will be a drop in a massive ocean made up of many other drops. And the world really doesn't need any more people that are just diplomats, just teachers, just janitors. We have enough. We need people that are doing more than just what is expected. So let's assume for a moment we want to change that job description and that job title. Before we go any further, I need a thumbs up that you're with me. Give me a thumbs up. All right, here we go. Let's change the job title. We'll start tonight. We're just going to change that job title. We're going to change it to say, not high school graduate, but a high school graduate from the American School of Bombay. There are only 558 of you. If you were an animal, you would be listed as an endangered species. There are only 598 of you, and 32 more are going to be added to that list. Because what the world needs is a doctor that is an ASB graduate, a diplomat that is an ASB graduate. We want the UN to be facilitated by a girl that graduated in 2014 after 15 years at the American School of Bombay. The letter goes on from the mother about what is it to be an ASB graduate. Well, the brother continues. Mumbai is a unique place, and the needs here are different than in New York. So for the kids at ASB who decide to do something about the needs, they have a forum in which to do it and therefore grow and develop. ASB instills in them, this is the quote from the mother, ASB instills in them the values and the skills necessary to identify and address those needs. That is what it means to be part of that ASB graduate. Last night, legally, I was watching Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man, and the opening scene happens when two different events are happening simultaneously. Spider-Man is off saving the city from the bad guys who have stolen a truck full of plutonium. Meanwhile, his class, his senior class, his 12th grade class, is going through graduation. So Peter Parker's class is graduating at the same time that Spider-Man is off saving the city from plutonium. And there's a great shot where the director pans across the student body. And they're all sitting there in their blue caps and gowns, and right in the middle, there's an empty chair. Because Spider-Man is off saving the city from plutonium. But luckily, of course, he's Spider-Man, so he gets there just in time to receive his diploma. Watching this, I couldn't help but reflect on you. And I thought to myself, who is our superhero? Will we have more than one superhero? Will it be a boy or a girl? What are your superpowers? And I know this class a lot better than I've known any graduating class because you were 9th graders when I came. I've coached you. I've taught you. I know many of you very well. And I know that there are superheroes in this class. If you know the story of Spider-Man, his uncle, Uncle Ben's dying words to Peter Parker, who he did not know was Spider-Man, but he knew that his nephew was special. He said, Peter, with great power comes great responsibility. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates of ASB have been bitten by a super spider. They have lived in India, which is the cradle of most of the wonderful things in civilization that we enjoy today. India is a microcosm of everything good, bad, and in the middle in the world. You graduated from ASB, which is one of the most relevant schools on the planet. And you have the people sitting beside you, you have your families, and you have your mentors that have given you these powers. My question to you is, many years from now, as we watch, and we are watching, and as we expect, we are expecting, what will we see? In my heart, I know what we see will make us proud. Good luck, and thanks for being at ASB.